AI is delivering on its promise, and I think it's actually becoming a bit of a problem. Hear me out. My calendar used to have gaps. Not a lot, but there were times where I could block out 3 hours, put on some headphones, open up VS Code, and sink into a problem for a few hours. See, I look forward to those gaps. But the thing is, my calendar doesn't have gaps anymore. But not because I'm working more hours or less hours, the hours are the same, but something really shifted in what filled those hours, and I didn't really notice until I was actually in it. So AI got really good at the things I spent most of my day doing. I'm using Claude, Cursor, Copilot, pick your favorite LLM of choice. I could write code faster than ever. I can produce more, ship more, move through technical work that would have been absolutely silly 2 years ago. And if you're a developer using these AI tools, chances are you've felt this firsthand. But you see, the thing is, our team measured about like a 4 or 5 times speed increase in most coding tasks. But when it came to total project time, that only really improved 1.5 or 2 times. So that made me think, 5 times faster at the work, but only like 1.5 times faster at the project. Like, where did the rest of this time go? And you see, here's my theory. It went into our calendars. Every piece of code that gets created, every function that gets written, creates a surrounding body of work that has nothing to do with writing code. It needs to be reviewed, it needs to be communicated, it needs to be aligned with a customer. There's usually a feedback loop associated with a feature that gets implemented, right? And this is what I like to call the harness. The harness is the kind of surrounding body of work that makes a feature or makes a piece of code actually a trusted, maintainable, shipped, understood product. And what I found is that this harness doesn't really scale with the size of the change, but the amount of changes that happen. Like a config tweak and an authentication system rewrite usually generate about the same amount of coordination work. The harness is per change and not per line of code. And this is exactly why I think these AI speedups inflate this harness so aggressively. AI makes each change faster, but it also makes you ship way more changes or features per week. A feature that took a week now takes a day, so now 5 features land where 1 used to. But each feature still generates its own unit of harness work. 5 features, 5 rounds of review, 5 rounds of alignment, 5 just making sure we're on the same page things. As AI got better, the development sped up, but the harness didn't. So AI made each of us faster, but it didn't make the space between us faster. The meetings multiplied, but not the good kind. Not pair programming or code reviews, those actually got kind of shunned away. What multiplied is the logistics, the distributing of information, the alignment, the realignment after the initial alignment didn't stick, the realignment after someone was on holiday after the realignment happened. If you've worked in and around enterprises, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. This is the kind of fundamental flaw when people measure productivity, especially in the AI era. They measure the time it takes to complete a task. See, that's real, but nobody really works in tasks. They work in weeks, and you've got a 40-hour work week, of which coding was a small part of. Speed up that fraction by 5 times, and the total improvement is then bounded by the harness. See, this is where that 5 times efficiency increase actually collapses into like a 2 times efficiency increase. And nobody's really looking at that gap. And this is the part that gets kind of existential in the fact that developers' jobs are slowly changing. The time we spend most of our time doing is shifting. Like, think about the arc. Coders used to be essentially algorithm monkeys, making things faster, better, more efficient. They spent most of their time just writing code. Then as we get a layer of abstraction higher came the software engineer. And software engineers' jobs require owning patterns, systems, distributed ecosystems, sometimes even getting into how your code runs on what infrastructure. We're moving a layer of abstraction higher. I think we're getting to a point now where AI is solving most engineering problems now anyway. So we're going even 1 level higher. So now if the code takes 45 minutes instead of 4 hours, but the harness still takes the same amount of time, then the harness becomes the majority of your job. Not gradually over a decade like moving from a coder to a software engineer, but like now, like this year. And see, this is the cruel part, because AI is doing this by making us better at the things that we actually enjoy. If you've ever seen A Never-Ending Story, there's a character, Bastion, and Bastion can make infinite wishes, but he loses a memory for every one that he makes. So our wish kind of came true here, like we're gaining this incredible productivity power and paying for it with a part of the work that made us developers in the first place. Every prompt that we bang into Claude Code removes our ability to actually think critically about the problem that we're trying to solve. We forget. And right now this feels super exciting. Like, you can bang out a web app in like a few minutes, a few hours if you're sitting down and focusing. But once that wears off, what's left? A job that's mostly orchestration, alignment, communication, done by people who chose this career because they like building things. So this kind of gets me to the point, can we speed up this harness? If we sped up development, could we speed up all the orchestration that happens around it? And I really want to say yes. But the problem isn't tooling, at least I don't think so. The problem in my eyes is I think there's an actual biological limit as to how much information a human can interpret. If your team used to ship 1 feature a week and now ships 5, the code can move that fast now. But your project manager just can't. I don't think anyone can meaningfully review, prioritize, and provide feedback on 5 times the output without something else giving. either the quality of their judgment, their sanity, or the work itself. And then there's context switching. When developers were slower, they worked on fewer things at once. You can dive deep into a problem and really understand it. Now we're touching more features, more systems, more code bases in the same week, and the penalty for switching between them has been documented thousands of times. So it takes time to reload a mental model of a problem that you've not seen for 2 or 3 days. And you might say, hey, AI can actually give us the context and help us, remove the burden of context switching. But in reality, I actually don't think AI helps with this. I think it actually makes us more detached from the systems themselves. And lastly, there's like a ceiling that nobody really talks about. Ultimately, we're building products for people. Like there's always going to be someone that signs it off or reviews it. So what if the person that signs the feature off is on paternal leave or with a family or in the hospital or God forbid got hit by a bus? AI can't speed up that feedback loop. Like people need to sleep. Like the harness that I just talked about runs on human time, not machine time, and human time can't compress. There will always be people in the loop that don't have the full context. And there's no tool in the world right now that can help with the messy, arduous communication task that we need to do to bring these people back up to speed. So this is usually the part of the video where I go in and try and sell you something, right? Oh, this amazing AI tool or this amazing new framework can help solve this problem. In reality, I don't think that there's a neat conclusion here. I think we're making the code faster, but slowly beginning to realize that the code was never truly the bottleneck. The bottleneck is the harness, the human, messy, unglamorous work of making sure a team builds the right thing together. And that bottleneck is growing, slowly eroding our calendars one quick sync at a time.